Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we got a serious crime that happened in Cook County in Illinois, which is not too far from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. And that is the sheriff police investigating a carjacking of a Doordash driver and her family. So, female Doordash driver and her family ended up having their car stolen on a delivery. Today I want to go over this article, some things that happened throughout it, see if there's anything we could really learn. Without further ado, let's get looking at it. Cook County Sheriff, that's the sheriff's car. Cook County Sheriff Police are seeking two men who carjacked a Glenwood woman, so female driver, and her two family members while the woman was attempting to fulfill a delivery of food to an address in Fort Heights. Around 7 p.m., the 46-year-old woman, accompanied by her 11-year-old daughter and 64-year-old mother, was fulfilling a delivery of McDonald's food made via the Doordash app. So, I don't think that's the best way to put it. So, it's a DoorDash order made by McDonald's, not McDonald's food made by the DoorDash app. The order was placed through DoorDash to an address on the 1100 block of Werline Avenue in Fort Heights. When she arrived, she went up to the home and saw that it appeared to be abandoned. So, there was nobody living there. It probably had a for sale sign, it probably was foreclosed, and no one was living there. The woman told the sheriff's police detectives she noticed two men walking on the street and initially did not want to assume anything bad of them. But when the men headed for the vehicle containing her mother and daughter, she ran back towards the vehicle screaming for the men to not hurt them, for her mother and daughter to get out of the vehicle. The mother told detectives she locked the vehicle doors when she met the men, but when they reached the car, one of the offenders, described as a black male, approximately 6 feet tall, thin, wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and a face mask, pointed a firearm at them and ordered them out of the vehicle. The second offender, described as male black, approximately 5'3", tall, stocky, with a dark hooded sweatshirt and a face mask. So, tall, thin guy, tall, like, short, stocky guy, both armed and apparently both African American. I don't like putting like colors on people. Like, I don't think that's right. I think people are people. So seemingly black skinned or African American people is what they are describing them as. The mother of the 11-year-old daughter exited the vehicle, and the offenders got into the vehicle and fled. Sheriff's police are seeking the public's help in locating the vehicle. A black 2018 Mazda 3, Illinois license plate number CH62717, and encourage anyone with information about this crime to call 911, Cook County Sheriff's Police Department. Okay, so I'm going to leave all of the contact information in the description as well, and I'm also going to put it on screen, so that way anybody who happens to know anything about it, who happens to live in the Chicago area, or Cook County, or whatever it is, you can end up contacting them on the subject. The sheriff's office encourages motorists to be aware of their surroundings and to exercise caution if they see the individuals or circumstances that raise suspicion. This is my opinion on the subject. It's worth what you pay for it. You don't pay me, so there you go. Having your 64-year-old mother and 11-year-old daughter, why? I don't understand why people bring their families when they're driving. Like, I understand if you don't have a choice, but there are some people who are just doing it because the kid wants to come for a ride, or you want to spend time with family, or whatever. And I get that. I understand that. But we've seen more times than any that there have been times where you have a kid in the car and for some reason the car is stolen and the kid's still in there. Like, why do you do that? Why do you open that opportunity for yourself? And not to mention a 64-year-old mom, like, she shouldn't be driving with you. Like, I would like to know why you brought the mom. Like, is there something that she, like, you absolutely 100% no doubt about it, you needed to be there for? Like, is there a health concern? I feel like there's not enough questions answered on that subject. The fact that her car was jacked, well, in the first 72 hours are the highest chance of you actually getting your car back. However, these guys seemed like they knew what they were doing. This wasn't, you're in a particular area where crime isn't all that big. You were in an area that these guys seemed like they knew what they were doing. They had a plan going in. First, set them to an address where there's no one living there. Then you make sure you order something that is cheap and will be worth the actual trip for. Then you'd make the DoorDash driver go inside. While they're inside, the two men approach the car. Have weapons available in case you need them. Get in the car, drive off. They're probably going to put it in some place to have the vehicle cool down for a while. Because if a police officer decided to drive by said vehicle, their cars actually have scanners to where they can, like, you don't even need to be near the car. They just know if the car is stolen. Like, is there any long-standing warrants out for the driver? Everything. I ended up in a situation where my car was stolen, and that's how they found my car. The guy was just driving along. He was a homeless guy that ended up taking my car in a McDonald's parking lot. He was just driving along. No, but, like, he didn't really have a plan. He was just kind of off his rocker, and he was just driving. A car ended up scanning my car, and it popped up as stolen. Because there was a bolo on it, or whatever it's called. They ended up getting the guy, they got my car, and they ended up moving it into an impound lot. I got it later. And I'll go into that story a different day, but that was 48 hours after it was stolen. I pray that you can get your car back. And yes, I'm going to put all the information up, so if there are any Chicago drivers that happen to see this vehicle or know anything about it, please, by all means, give the people a call, and hopefully you can get something going. And then finally, the only other point that I have to make on this is that some people would look at this and like, oh, there you go again with the DoorDash safety features not really working out. What are you gonna do? Like, what safety feature is gonna help you with that? Okay, so the safety features that are available is an ADT agent can hop on the phone with you preemptively if you don't feel safe. Or number two, discreetly call 911 through the app. And number one, there's no training on that with DoorDash. And number two, and probably most important, like, what is that going to do when your car is jacked and there's no, like, indicator of, like, oh, I'm gonna get my car jacked in the next 2 seconds. DoorDash, there's nothing about DoorDash that's gonna matter about that. Best thing she could have done was call the sheriff's office, and they can make a big deal out of it. Careful when driving. Have a dash cam if you don't have one already. Make sure you also get an ignition kill switch and a GPS for your car. Always smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I'm kidding. That's in poor taste. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.